Hey guys, in today's podcast, is this a podcast? I don't know, we'll see. Not for UFO Currents, but definitely for GhostHunterApps. So, in 2014, I started GhostHunterApps. And then I did a collaboration with Steve Huff for a few years, which is fantastic. I know many of you know who Steve Huff is. Huff Paranormal, a legend. And you might know Debbie as well. Beautiful person. And a friend. In January of this year, I took GhostHunterApps down. No, it did not fall off. But I wanted to redo all the Android apps and make it so that they will work not only on Android but also on iOS. I got a letter or an email from Google at the end of last year, and it said that the SDK that I had used previously for the Android apps was going to be deprecated at the end of the year. And sure enough, it was. So I decided I'm not going to try and recompile those using a newer SDK, because then they're only going to work on Android. So I took it, okay, this is fine. I'm going to take all the apps down from the Google Play Store, from the Amazon App Store, and then instead of using Visual Studio and Xamarin, which is the tool that I used originally to write my apps, which made them only available for Android, this time I was going to use Unity. And I did a project for my friend Jack McAdoo. And we wrote a slot machine app in Android and in iOS. And we ended up getting it in both the Apple Store and the Google Store. And it was an incredible app. Incredible. This is all the brainchild of Jack McAdoo, who's a genius. And that app, unfortunately, it was just like a prototype. You know, there was a brand new business being set up, and the guys went their different ways, and it didn't materialize into what Jack had originally envisioned. But that's okay, because we learned a lot from that. For one, I ended up buying a Mac OS machine, and for the first time in over 20 years, I was on a Mac. So I'm not a Mac guy, I'm a Windows guy. And to some extent, I'm a Linux guy. I would say 95% Windows, 5% Linux, and 0% Mac. So that was an opportunity for me to learn how to jump back onto the Mac OS and use Unity in the Mac environment. By the way, I will just say this. Apple makes things so difficult. So difficult. You can't just make your app and then put it in the App Store. There is like a ton of intermediary steps that need to be taken. So, remember when I came home from the hospital in 2019, technically it was 2020 because it was December of 2019, and then immediately we were into 2020. I couldn't do anything because of the paralysis. So for over 2 years, the paralysis was like preventing me from doing things. But at the beginning of 2022, when I started to talk, walk, didn't quite drive at that point, but talk and walk and get back to work, writing books and writing software, that's when I just decided I was going to do the Android apps. And they went well, they did well. You know, I was happy with what I got, made some good money. I made a lot of new friends that, who were unknown to me because they were Android people and I had been a Windows guy. So probably a couple of thousand people became part of the GhostHunterApps family, the community, And that was incredible. I was happy for that. It's like Rhonda Byrne, who wrote the book The Secret, said, if you envision it and you want it, it'll come. And it happened. So I was like, okay, cool. No, I'm not crazy. I'm actually reading that stupid book again. The Secret, I know. A lot of people joke at me for reading it, but I believe in the power of intention, the law of attraction. So it's not the only book I'm reading. I read lots of books. Here's the other book I'm reading. I got this years ago. The Brief Answers to the Big Questions from Stephen Hawking. I got that. You guys remember that book? And then, here's probably one you've never heard of. The Ancient Giants Who Ruled America. The Missing Skeletons and the Great Smithsonian Cover-Up by Richard J. Dewhurst. So that's another book that I'm reading. Behind me, you'll see a bunch of books if you look very carefully over there. Right there. There's a bunch of the other books that I've recently read. And anyway, so... Oh, by the way... I better not bring that up. But there's a big fancy producer who I'm working with. Executive producer. An award-winning executive producer who's done a bunch of movies for the UFO community. And doing a little bit of work with him. So that's going to be interesting. Every time we try and get on the phone or Skype together, I'm not available or he's not available. So, I got to figure that out. But anyway, where was I? Right, so when I got the message from Google, they said that the SDK was going to be deprecated. I said, fine. This presents me with an opportunity to redo all the Android apps in Unity. Why? Because it's going to work just like Jack McAdoo's app that we did that ended up on the Apple Store and the Google Store. The same thing would apply here. All of these Ghost Hunter apps will be in both Apple and Android. And that'll be fun. I'm still going to charge $10 for my app. It's a fair cost. It's a lot of work that goes into this stuff. So $10. Some people only charge $2. Some people only charge $5. I've seen people charge as much as $20. So I figured I'd be in the middle. $10, $9.99 an app. I think that's fair. It's like it's like getting a Starbucks and a snack at Starbucks. It's the same cost. For a cup of coffee and a snack, the equivalent, you get one of my apps. But my apps are incredible. And I have so much fun with them. I wrote 2 apps that Google did not allow me to post for some reason. So I had to put them over at Amazon. One was called Voices. And the other one was called, was it called Celestial? I don't remember. It's been so many years. But they ended up over at Amazon, which I really didn't pay too much attention to the Amazon side of things because I was heavily focused on the Google side because I was trying to learn that. And anyway, and that's where everybody was getting their apps from. I would say about 90% of the app sales came from Google, 10% came from Amazon. So, and way back in the early days, when I was doing the just the Windows software and working with Steve Hubb, we had actually made CDs. We put the apps on CDs and we sold them that way. That was a long time ago. And those were sold exclusively at Amazon. So, nobody does that anymore, so we're not going to do that again. But, okay, so we'll get back into this. 2024. So, the middle of 2024, I'm relaunching GhostHunterApps. Entirely brand new website. You guys are going to be excited when you see it because it's going to be totally different. It's not going to be like it was before. And I'm excited about that. And I wrote an app. I wrote software for Windows, Linux, and the Mac OS for your laptops and desktops. That was a big project. That's coming. You're going to have a lot of fun with that. Again, I did that in Unity because Unity allows me to make these software efforts available to 3 platforms, Linux, Windows, and Mac. So, and then for the smartphones, Android and iPhone. So, yeah, so that's kind of cool. That's coming down the pipe. Okay, so that's Ghost Hunter Apps. GhostHunterApps.com. There's a nice little message there right now, but there's new stuff coming down the pipe, and there's a new collaboration that's going to happen. So that's a little bit of a surprise forthcoming. The collaboration. What else is going on? So, okay. UFO Currents. Right now, I'm getting ready for the July International Symposium. MUFON's International Symposium for 2024 is happening in Irving, Texas. And I'm getting ready for that. So, I'm putting together I'm refining my presentations because I already wrote them. So I'm doing a 45-minute and a 30-minute, so a total of 75 minutes. 2 separate presentations. Then I'm participating on a panel. Robert Salas, Dr. Bob Wood, and a couple other people whose names escape me at the moment. But we're going to be a part of that panel, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And I will be taking with me copies of my book, UFO Nexus. Excuse me. UFO Highway 2.0, and the Modern UFO UAP Researchers Handbooks. Sorry. Guillain-Barré, scarred to the throat. You know how it goes. Yeah, I'm going to be cutting that section out. Okay, I'm back. But that's going to be a fun trip. I'm also going to be taking my merch with me. I have the Strange Radio Central merchandise, really cool stuff. Shirts, beanie caps, hats, mugs, all that stuff. It's amazing stuff. You guys will be blown away. As a matter of fact, if you go to ufocurrents.com and click on the, what is it, the shop? Let me start the link. UFO Currents shop. If you click on the shop tab, you'll see a bunch of the stuff that I'll be taking with me to the MUFON Symposium. Technically, a lot of it's for sale now through ufocurrents.com. But I just did a show on artificial intelligence and robotics, and I mentioned Skynet from the Terminator movie, which came out in the 80s. And it's funny that all of that technology that was shown to us in the 1980s movies didn't exist yet. Today, in the 2020s, it's a reality. It exists. For me, going forward, the vast majority of my life is going to revolve around my UFO research. I want to get back out into the domain of the Southwest. I want to, from New Mexico to Colorado to Nevada to Arizona, all throughout California. And eventually I want to make my way up to Oregon and Washington. I want to visit all these places. I want to create new videos and share them with everybody. So, in order for me to do that, I have to overcome the Guillain-Barré. I have to get my voice back together. Because every once in a while, I want to say about at least 3 or 4 times a day, like right now, this very moment, my nerves will start acting up. They'll start sending all these strange messages to my brain. Like, don't breathe. I'm like, what? What's going on? So, anyway, let's see if I can get through this. It's not going to stop me. My voice is not going to stop me from writing my articles or creating new software. That's going to happen. Oh, yeah. If any of you, for those of you that know me, you know I'm a hat guy. I've been wearing hats since I was a kid. I've always been a hat guy. I've always had this collection of fedoras, baseball hats, beanie cap, everything. Shoot, if I have a sombrero, I'll probably wear a sombrero, Mexican sombrero. But, yeah, I just got this Bailey of Hollywood. The last one I had was Bailey's. And, I tried to get the same one that I had last time, but they didn't have it. But I got this guy. It's pretty cool. I like it. Makes me happy. Alright, that's it. I'm out. Guys, do me a favor. If you watch this, because I think there's like 12 people who have seen all of my videos. If you're one of the 12 people who has ever watched one of my videos, send me a comment and tell me what you think about my voice. Give me ideas on how to deal with the throat issues that I have. I know that some of you are going to have recommendations. Perhaps teas or certain types of drinks or something. I don't know. But I could use the advice. So send me that. Let me know if there are any UFO stories that you're particularly interested in that you would like to see me cover, whether it be through article or podcast. I have lots of articles that I've written over the years, but I want to work on contemporary news. I want to work on contemporary items and recent news. So I have that in the works. But I'll be releasing some of my past written articles that have not seen the light of day. And you guys will like them. Some good stuff. Remember I did the 3-part UFO Faith Enigma? The UFO Faith Enigma. That's my throat. That went kind of viral. And then I had a video that within the video I did on the progenitors within the first 48 hours had over 17,000 views. Which to me, that was a huge thing. I've had one video on YouTube for GhostHunterApps that had Steve Huff, Noreen Balovich, Connie Willis from Coast to Coast AM. And that thing got like 10,000 views over 6 years. So to me, to get 17,000 in 48 hours was like a huge explosion. That was awesome. And then ultimately, I think within 48 hours, it ended up hitting 38,000 views. Then after a week, I think it leveled off at around 50-something thousand, which is good. Because a lot of people got to learn about their progenitors. And the Anunnaki and the tall whites. And a little bit about the gray aliens, the Aloha Grays. So that was kind of cool. But I like doing this, as you can tell. It's just my voice has been a struggle. But tell me what you guys want me to talk about, and I'll try and make videos when my voice is not having issues. But I'm going to continue to write articles. And the book that I wrote in 2023 called The Crossing, which was about my experience with Guillain-Barré and a near-death experience, I'll probably release that at the end of this year. Because I just released 3 books. And I want to focus on those right now. The other book, The Crossing, is done. But again, I think maybe around Christmas or January. The end of this year. The beginning of next year. We'll see. Okay, that's it. That's all I have. Thank you for being with me today. I'm only going to put this video on Facebook. This is not going to go on YouTube. I don't think it is. And if it does, it'll go at GhostHunterApps. It won't go on UFO Currents. Because I didn't really talk about UFOs today, not that much. I know I touched on MUFON. But I think the news at the beginning of this particular video was heavily centered on GhostHunterApps, which I love. And I can't wait for you to see the surprise collaboration and the new website. It's going to blow your minds away. You're going to love it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Not to mention the big app that I worked on. Okay, guys, now I'm done. Now I'm out of here. Thank you. Please let me know what you want me to talk about. This will go on Facebook, and if it does go on YouTube, it'll go on GhostHunterApps. I'm out.